Today is this year is a significant year for the Historical Society. You're celebrating the 75th year of your progress and your work and your organization. I can imagine what the climate, what the environment, what the history was as you formed 75 years ago, and what perhaps dreams there were of the future, very different than maybe we see today. But it's an exciting time. I really appreciate the Historical Society for your contributions. Just as an example, Matt Logan and the Historical Society was one of the first groups to really help me understand the possibilities with the commission that we are doing on remembrance and reconciliation. And you already knew and had, as do other groups, but you already knew and had documented and were working on Montgomery County's own history and struggles with racial justice and with racial terror. And you communicated that to me, and we began to work together on modeling out an approach to creating community dialogue and participating in that project. And I really appreciate that. Just one very small example of the many, many things that you do. Well, it's a big example, but it's in your portfolio, you got many, many things that you're doing. So I'm really pleased to be able to present this proclamation to you today, and I'll just invite you to share some reflections on your work.
Thank you. Thank you, Hans, and thank you to all the council. We have been blessed to have such a supportive group of people and leaders who recognize the value of history, and all of our work right now is really based on relevance, inclusivity, engagement, and accessibility. And I want to introduce Mr. Dan Dwyer, who's our board vice president, Sarah Hedlund, who is our librarian and the county's archivist, Laura Reese, our volunteer manager, Clarence Hickey, who celebrated his 75th anniversary on Wednesday, and so he can tell you about the climate of the days when we started in 1944, and then Elizabeth Lay, our curator. So all of these people, our team is working diligently to ensure that everyone is represented, all of the individuals and all the communities that call Montgomery County home, so that in 2094, when we're celebrating our 150th, that all those stories that are taking place, all the history that's happening right now, is part of the larger narrative. So, Hans, thank you so much.
And this Saturday you have a regular monthly meeting, is that right?
We have our annual membership meeting on Saturday morning, in which Sarah will be presenting a history of the Montgomery County Historical Society, tracing that evolution over 75 years. And then Heritage Days is this weekend, so we'll have a full menu of activities at the Belle Dawson House in Rockville on Saturday afternoon and on Sunday afternoon.
Fantastic. Well, the Montgomery County Council issues this proclamation today. Whereas Montgomery history has served as the county's historical society since 1944 by collecting, preserving, interpreting, and sharing the histories of all of Montgomery County's residents. And whereas Montgomery history currently operates two museums on its Rockville campus, the 1815 Belle Dawson House and the Stone Street Museum of 19th Century Medicine. Montgomery History manages an 11,000-piece collection of historic artifacts, operates the Jane C. Sween Research Library and the Montgomery County Archive, and provides a home for the county's Genealogical Society. And whereas the organization also brings scholarly and public attention to 20th century history through the Harper Center for Suburban Studies, hosts an annual history conference, operates a successful speakers bureau, and provides numerous educational and community exhibitions and events every year. And whereas Montgomery history ensures that the artifacts, documents, photographs, and other historic resources that are necessary to telling the stories of Montgomery County's residents and communities are collected and conserved in a manner that meets or exceeds professional accreditation standards and are made accessible to everyone who seeks to use them. And whereas Montgomery history engages county residents in programs that provide a better understanding of this area's history, give context to contemporary issues, and encourage community members to share their personal histories. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of Montgomery County, Maryland hereby honors the 75th anniversary of Montgomery history, presented today and signed by the Council President and myself. Thank you very much for your work, Matt. Really appreciate it. And we'll take a photo together, and one of these days I'm going to make it to the seminars that you host. Every time I get your newsletter, I see the amazing discussions, and I want to get to that. Can't get to as many as I'd like to.
Yeah.